Hello and welcome back to RamsTalkPodcast. And we're here after Derby County have been promoted back up to the Championship. I mean, what a day. We've got so much to talk through, so many scenes to think about. I'm so hungover, so you're going to have to give me the benefit of the doubt if nothing goes quite right today. And I think some of the other boys have got the same problem. So you can see, if you watch our video, Cal's got some sunglasses on to look after himself. But yeah, what a day, what a season, and what a way to cap off an incredible year at Derby County. So to talk through all of it today, we've got Callum Boocock. How are you, Cal?
I'm fragile, put it that way, mate. I'm fragile, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it together. Couldn't be happier. Let's talk a really, really special day.
Absolutely. And another man who is suffering just like me, Adam Titley. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. Buzzing after yesterday. Absolutely buzzing. One of the best days of my life yesterday. 100%. I'm sure it was for a lot of other people.
Definitely would have been. And we've also got Mr. Father Vic Singh. How are you, Vic? You all right, mate?
Absolutely buzzing. It's been the perfect week for me. I actually, for all the the visual watchers of the podcast, I've actually got a surprise. I can show you my son right now. There you go. The newest Ram.
Newest member of Rams Talk. Look at that.
Rams Talk, Punjabi Rams, whatever you call it. The newest Ram. Hukum Singh.
Let's go.
There you go.
I love it, Vic. I love it. And yeah, I was going to
so
say, you know, Chris said we needed to get someone good in to replace him. And there we go. We've got someone straight away. I love it. Congrats, Vic, and congrats to Serena as well.
Thank you.
So, right, let's get straight into it. And we have to talk about one thing. And that was the moment that final whistle went. Because I can't even explain the emotion or what little went through my mind when that whistle went. So, I mean, you guys could give your recollections, but I was in the East Stand. I was down at the front. 85 minutes, people started filtering down. I sit right at the top, ran all the way down to the bottom, was getting closer and closer to that barrier. And then at 90 minutes, we were over the barrier. And then the lino was running backwards and forwards, as they do, as play went on. And some guy was getting closer and closer to the lino. And Lino turned around, saw him, was like, nah, ran. And as he went, the whole crowd suddenly realised it's full time, maybe. And Derby are up. And we've done it. Flying to the centre of the pitch. The scenes were amazing. I mean, I ran, grabbed Callum on the way past. Ran straight into the middle. All the players were going crazy. All the fans were going crazy. I think about 20,000 people were on the pitch within about 5 minutes or 5 seconds. Sorry. I mean, Callum, unbelievable, wasn't it, to watch? And just having something like that at our home stadium after everything we've been through is so special.
It is, and it's something fitting for a stadium such as ours and the fans that we've got that fill it every single game to go and have a momentous occasion like we did. I mean, for me, I was just clock watching because you saw, as soon as we went past the 90 minutes, I saw 4 minutes added. I was like, this ref ain't going to pay 4 minutes added. And when it got to 2 and just the crowd are just getting smaller and smaller, and I just went, well, one liner's got to peg it across the pitch, the referee's going to have it easy and blow it. So you're kind of just watching where the referee was going, because once he kind of decided that was it, then obviously all hell broke loose. And it was great for fans to be able to just go and let the emotions take over and go and join the lads who've really, really created memories for a lot of us. That if you think a lot of people have either never seen a promotion or this is the maybe the only second time that they've had a feeling like this, but to do it at home is ever so special. And I think for us as a four and Jamie and stuff to cover this team this season, it's been a pleasure. And obviously it's just nice to end it on a high.
Well, it is, and you don't get much better highs than that, do you, Adam? What an entire stadium storming the pitch. I mean, some of the videos that we've seen as well have been incredible. Everyone's starting to bounce on the pitch, which is something I was really hoping we'd do, and we did it, and it was great to see. But just talk me through your emotions, mate, when that final whistle went and sort of the chaos that went around it.
Just genuine jubilation. Like, I think I'm being honest, I think I barely remember the whistle going. there was just a roar of people. And I was like, this is it. This is it. We are up. This is happening now. And it was just, yeah, let's all go and celebrate with the players and then getting on that pitch. And it was just absolutely crazy. I mean, it's once in a lifetime sort of thing for some people getting to go on the pitch, especially in that scenario. And what a perfect way to do it in that game. And just absolute crazy euphoria, jubilation just to go on the pitch and be on the place where so many memories have been made and watched and great moments. I think when I was stood on there, I started to realise the sort of scenes that we'd witnessed all season. I think standing on the edge of the box, I was like, could I finish from here? Probably not. Looks a bit further out than it does when I'm up in the stand. But yeah, it was absolutely crazy. I mean, my mate lifted me onto his shoulders, and I think he's about 6'5". I'm about 6'1". I was cleaning the Pride Park roof, I think, by the time I was up there. But yeah, it was just absolutely unbelievable and such the fairy tale ending that I think we all wanted at the start of the season.
Yeah, it was, and I mean, without getting too emotional, Vic, you know, we've talked about all season about how much it means, just in general, just how much it means, and that moment, as Adam said, you barely heard the whistle because the roar from the crowd and the way the atmosphere had grown in the sort of the last 10 minutes of the game, it was absolute chaos. I sit in the Upper East. I talk about this on the pod a lot. I sit in the Upper East stand, and the atmosphere, there's no atmosphere there. There's no atmosphere there. People were on their feet. Old people were on their feet. People were bouncing mid-game. That never, ever, ever happens. Because it was a special day. It was just one of those days where you could tell that it was something, like Adam said, it's possibly a once in a lifetime thing. I mean, Derby have won 5 promotions, whatever or something. Was that what you said earlier?
Yeah.
5 promotions in our history. How long have we been kicking about? You know, so to have only done that 5 times it's unbelievable. And again, just talk me through what was going through your head when that whistle went.
Oh, it's just, I think I was overwhelmed. There was just so many emotions going through my mind. I was thinking back to when we went through the administration days, and then I thought back to how we came so close last season, and then we finally managed to do it this year. It was overwhelming. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't crying at the final whistle, because I was. There was tears coming down my eyes. I looked to my left and my granddad was there, and I was like, these are the moments that you really want to cherish. I looked to the other side, and it was just so many fans that I've met over the years, and you just run onto the pitch, and it's just nice for the club. It's nice for the city to have something to celebrate, because we've been through so much over the last few years, especially. It's nice to see how galvanised we were. I mean, I've never seen all 4 stands sing, even the Gammon stand, the West stand. So even they were going at it. So yeah, it was nice for them to join in. But honestly, it was just overwhelming. It was beautiful. And long may that good atmosphere continue.
I tell you what, if we could do that every week, that'd be all right, wouldn't it? Can we run on the pitch every week as well? That is the best bit. And I mean, a few of you touched on it there. 2 years ago, we woke up every morning not knowing if we would have a team to actually support. You know, you'd wake up every day and something new would come out. You know, bids fell through. There's no one coming. What's going to happen? We're selling another player. We've had to let go another member of staff. The club was falling apart, and here we are 2 years later, and we've just run on the pitch to celebrate going up back to the Championship. I mean, Callum, from an emotional perspective, it's so special, isn't it? Like Vic said, you have these experiences. You're surrounded by not just the people that you're friends with and you love and you spend time with, but surrounded by people you don't know. And sometimes those moments are even better. I lost count of how many people I hugged on that pitch. No idea who they were. Could have been anyone. But in that moment, we were all one. And moments like that don't come around very often, do they?
No, and when you kind of think that we're all there as a collective to support one thing, and that's Derby County, and it's no matter what's going on in your personal life, what's been going on in your week, or whatever, we always come every Saturday to come and watch our team and play football. And when you were there, you kind of just wanted that feeling never to end. I don't know for you guys, it just brought back to me that Stoke game when we found out obviously the news a couple of years ago, the complete contrasting feeling. And if you think that was like, we were very worried at one point that, like you said, we would never get a feeling like this ever again, or even have an opportunity to. And when you think about us as a fan base and what the players behind the scenes and what the staff going on and just, want to make a living and stuff like that. And as you say, the people who've been affected by what's gone on off the pitch, you do feel what a football club can do to a city, and especially a one club city like we are. And I think you saw that with obviously not just what happened at the stadium, but obviously going into the town and spilling into the city streets after, because we're all there and wanted to celebrate it in our own ways, go back home with your families or whatever, or going out with mates or people like you said that you've never even seen before. So it's a very, very emotional feeling that I think we're all going through at the moment.
I think we are, and Adam, as my voice goes, I'll have to ask shorter questions, I think. But Adam, I mean, like I said to Cal, we've been so bad off the pitch for so long, and so bad on it. I mean, how many times have we got so close to going up? QPR, Reading. Times we've got into the playoffs, Istanbul. Times like that, Villa at Wembley, and then we end up going into administration and going down. And it feels like every time we've sort of got close to achieving something, there's always something that knocks us down, and there's always something that was in the way. And that's where, doing a derby, that's where it all came from, isn't it? That's where everything was from. And yet now here we are, and we're celebrating, and we're together, and we're all happy. I mean, we talked about it. I've cried about 50 times in the last 2 days. I can't stop, because it's just such an emotional. I'll see somewhere else and it'll set me off again. I'm like, stop doing nice things. I mean, from your perspective, from an emotional perspective, how did you find it?
I think it was a roller coaster. I think before the game, I found it quite a strange feeling. I said it didn't feel like last game of the season, which made me think, do I think we're going to end up in the playoffs and do a derby, or is this just the weird feeling of we're going to do it? And I think part of me was feeling that it was never in doubt, which is, I'm not trying to be cocky when I say that, but I just think that the atmosphere was there. I think the players look relaxed, and Paul Warne, he knows how to get promotion out of this division, and the early goal at the start, I think, just set the tone for the game. I think we needed that, and when it happened, it was unbelievable. I think the emotions were. It was one of them ones where you realise that 20 minutes has passed, but it feels like a second. I think when we got onto the pitch, I think that was how I'd describe it. I think just absolutely crazy, can't think of it. And then David Clowes starting the bounce, getting to lift the second place trophy as well. I think he's a Derby County fan. He's one of us, and I think when you think about it, you may have stood or sat next to David Clowes at a match, home or away, before he was owner, and you look up at him in the director's box and know that he's feeling the same emotions as you. And it's a strange feeling when you see that. And then when you see the players on the pitch who've come through the academy, obviously Max Bird, he's one of our own. I think Louis Sibley, you could see, he wears his heart on his sleeve every game. And to see him celebrating as well, it's them special moments which you hold on to. And I think yesterday was one of them. And my favourite moment post-game was seeing David Clowes lift that second place trophy for automatic promotion, because he's the man, he's the reason we're here. And I know people say, "Oh, build a statue," and I think in 10, 20 years' time that won't certainly be a crazy thing to say. And hopefully we do have a statue of the man who got us to this position and built us to where we are today. Because I think, as much as I don't think he likes the limelight, I think he needs to be remembered in Derby County folklore as a legend of Derby County history.
It's funny because we spoke to David Clowes not too long ago, and this is one of the things I brought up, and I said, if we do go up, are you going to lift the trophy? And he looked me in the eyes and said, no. And yet, here we are. And Vic, firstly, we've got a couple of comments talking about Kane Wilson said in his interview, long may it continue. And we know you're there, Kane. We know that you watch. Or
Fan of the pod. Fan of the
We
pod.
know you're around, mate. We know you'll see this. You have to pay royalties if you want to use Vic Singh's catchphrase. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But Vic, I mean, to sort of build on David Clowes, we have to talk about him, don't we? Because I've seen in the past where a team is successful and the owner comes out and they're giving it the big I am and they're celebrating everywhere and stuff like that. I mean, I can think of a few examples of that. I'm not going to name any names, but with Derby, it feels different because I don't think there are many owners in football like David Clowes. I mean, he didn't want to buy the club. He bought it out of necessity. He bought it because if he didn't, we wouldn't be sat here having this chat right now, or we'd be talking about the 15th tier or something. I'll probably promoted from that as well, so it'd be probably not far off what we're doing. But yeah, I mean, what he's done is incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible to come in, to stabilize, and to be so smart with what he was doing. When he came in, he didn't give Liam Rossini a permanent deal because he wanted someone that he thought would work. He brought in Paul Warne. Every decision he's made has been right, and he's proven himself right. People wanted Warne sacked. Few of us at times thought he should probably go, and yet here we are. We're promoted, and Clowes has been right. I mean, when you look at Clowes, Vic, I mean, what else can you say? What else is there to say? He's been amazing.
Give him the freedom of the city to start with. But honestly, David Clowes, like you said, without him, we wouldn't have a club to support. But what I like most about him is he's brought the business side of him into the football club in terms of being savvy with his business transactions, in terms of where the money's being spent. If you look at, especially our transfer dealings, we haven't actually really spent any money. This squad is built on frees. We probably might have had to pay for Paul Warne's compensation, but other than that, everything else was built on frees, and he's been very business savvy, and he's brought that into the club as well. He's done a lot of improvements. We've seen safe standing being introduced as well. We've seen the concourses lit up and the seats are clean and the stadium just looks nice. There's not much more you can say about David Clowes other than thank you for what you've done for us. And it's just we love you as a fan base. That's what we can say. We love you because without you, we wouldn't have a club to support. We wouldn't have these days, and we wouldn't be looking forward to Championship football. And I remember when we spoke to him at the fans forum, and he was like, I remember saying to him, I said, if we go up, I said, you do need to take some credit for it. And even then, he was very humble. He's like, no, it's all the manager and the players. It's got nothing to do with me. So I'm going to say from our behalf, thank you, David Clowes. A lot of this is down to you. So make sure you revel in all this glory because it's all yours.
Imagine being a fan of a club, buying that club, and like Adam said, that club wins promotion, and you're there on that pitch with all the players of the team that you support, but it's not them lifting the trophy, it's you. It's every fan's dream, isn't it, Callum?
Yeah.
And yet he's living it.
He is, yeah. He's kind of doing everything that we would probably do anything for to do. And it's probably something that when he went to go to his first Derby game, he would never, ever envisage happening. I don't think anyone would have. At the end of the day, what happened is probably a once in a full moon kind of thing. And in terms of your club going to where it went and you having the capability of doing something about it, and as he did, saving it and creating a memory like he has, it's just all kind of gone full circle. As you say, if you think, 4 or 5 years ago, we were saying how bad Championship football was, how much we want to go to the Prem, and how much we're loving the ride of trying to go for promotion to the Premier League, and then everything gets taken away because of obviously off the field matters, and David Clowes has meant that we've been able to now get back to where we were and now go again. And as Vic has said, I can't speak highly enough of David Clowes and what he's done. He won't take any of the credit. That's not what he's like or what he does. And I respect him for it, but he does need to have the recognition where it's deserved.
I don't think he's lacking in recognition, Callum. I think he'll be all right with what he gets. I'm sure he won't have any problems. But we have to talk about the rest of the day because we spent 20 minutes talking about a 20-minute period of time. But one of the things that I really liked yesterday was we met a lot of you guys that listen in as well, like a lot. and it was, to be honest, quite overwhelming. How
Mm.
many people came and spoke to us throughout the day, and especially after people had 4 or 5 pints, and then all of a sudden everyone was there. It was just great, and it's so lovely. And that's the idea of, we want to build a community, blah blah blah. Everyone says that, but I feel like we kind of do actually have one. So yeah, it was good to meet everyone. And Adam, it was a good night out, wasn't it? I mean, every single pub, every bar, every nightclub in Derby was rammed full of Derby fans. A lot still had Derby shirts on. And again, when we talk about dreams, like you think about the best days in club's histories, this has to be one of them, and not just for the club, but for the city of Derby itself.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the city centre like that, to be honest. I think the game ended. I think everybody from Pride Park descended upon 2 or 3 pubs or bars. I think the Neptune was rammed. I think I tried to go to the Bustler Market and didn't think I was going to get a pint until next year. So I thought the best head into the centre. And then obviously the standing order in town as well was probably the hotbed of fans, wasn't it? Where many go to drink before the game and after the games all season. I think everybody decided that was the place, and it was a great atmosphere. I think I can't remember what time I was in there, at 11 p.m, and people were still getting chants going. That it wasn't just 1 or 2 people, it was a lot of people in there, and all good natured too. I think everybody was absolutely loving it, and just the fact we've got promoted, I think, as a city, and like Callum said, a one club city, it all came together last night. I think everywhere you looked in Derby city centre, there was Derby fans talking about the game, talking about what it means, and it was great to see that so many people's match day rituals were now getting to be lived with the promotion. I think that's what you really want to do, isn't it? You go to the same places pre and post match, you do the same walks, meet the same people, and when you can do it with a promotion, there's something extra. Everything feels special. It feels personal to you, and I think that's what everybody was experiencing last night in Derby. So many people go out after the games, whether you do or don't drink. People go to the pubs, go to different places, restaurants, places to eat, and that's their little ritual. And yesterday they got to live it with the talk of promotion and so many other people coming together. I think everybody wanted to experience Derby last night, and that was absolutely brilliant to see.
It was, and to sum up how much they sold in the standing order, about 11:15, I was served a baby Guinness shot. So it's a little shot. I was served that in a coffee mug, because they'd run out of every other glass. And then in my other hand, I had a vodka lemonade, also in a coffee mug. Someone got a shot in like one of the little Prosecco glasses. They'd sold that much, they'd completely run out of everything. And if that doesn't sum up how many people were out last night, I don't know what will. But Vic, I mean, Adam talked about rituals there, and again, you mentioned it. Stood with your dad and your family, and you live these moments. But sometimes things change. I mean, I lost my granddad a couple of years ago, and one of the things that I thought about when we were on the pitch was straight away I thought he'd have loved that. And there's so many people that we lost sort of when the club was down, when the club was out, through administration that never saw the other side of that. And we lost a lot of people, and they never got to see that other side of it. And I mean, it feels so special, doesn't it? Because you think of all those people, I bet they're watching down now and thinking how good it is, how great it is that we've got out. But it's special for them as well, isn't it? And I think the team did it for them. We've been in such a bad position for so long. So yeah, I think the team definitely delivered. I mean, I don't even know what I want to ask you, Vic. I'm sorry. I'm so out of it. But what do you think, Vic? I mean, have the team managed to do everyone proud in a way that no other Derby team in recent years has?
Most definitely. If you look at the squad all the way through, they've always given the fight, the passion. They've always played for the shirt, and sometimes that's all you ask for as fans. But we've had that added quality this season, and 92 points is no mean feat, is it? From 46 games. Paul Warne always said he wanted to average 2 points a game to get promoted. We did exactly that. So the players have done us all proud, from the goalkeeper all the way to James Collins and the lads in the reserves and the subs bench. Everyone's done us proud. They all pulled together. They all bought into Paul Warne's plan. everybody pulled in one direction, and it's just really, really great to see. So yeah, the players have done us proud, and I don't think I've ever been proud of a Derby team as much as I have this year, just because with all the adversity, even with the up and down run that we had with Paul Warner, some fans running in and out, they all stuck through it, they all bought into it, and the end goal was promotion. So yeah, it's definitely a very I'm losing my words myself, and I don't even drink. But yeah, it's a very it's a thing of pride to see this team fight the way they do, and hopefully we can continue that into the championship coming forward. So yeah, I mean it's just great, and yeah, we're really proud of all the players.
Yeah, we can be. I mean, I think we should probably talk about the game as well. We actually played a game yesterday. I mean, I'd forgotten we'd played one. But Callum, we have to look at that game. I mean, a few minutes in, Max Bird, it's his last game for Derby. 200 appearances he made for Derby. And in his final game, 5 minutes in, ball gets rolled to him, bang, top corner. Runs off celebrating, and did you notice on his hand as well? He'd written "Dad" on his hand for his dad who passed away a few years ago as well. Who was obviously a big part of why he's at Derby and how he ended up coming through and being as successful as he is. I mean, it's so special for Bird, isn't it? Because I think a lot of people sort of questioned his commitment a little bit, which was disappointing at the time because he made it very clear that he was going because he wanted a fresh start. It was nothing to do with Derby. It was nothing to do with, potentially not going up, staying down, whatever. He wanted a fresh start because he's been through so much here. He just needs somewhere new to go and do what he does. And it must be so special for him in his last games, not just score a goal, but to score a goal like that. The goal that, technically that's the goal that sent us up. And he's gone and done it. And he's now written himself into Derby history, and that can't be changed. So how impressive was he, and how much of a legacy will he have left?
A massive one. I think Paul had a tough decision to make, change a winning side, take Thompson out, who's played really, really well. But obviously Bird's making his 200th appearance and signing his Derby career off. He probably wanted him to at least have an opportunity to say goodbye to the fans in whatever way he could. And I mean, you couldn't get much better than that. 5 minutes in, and he hits a left-footed strike, almost vintage Max Bird. In terms of he only ever scores wonder goals. I only ever see those or something like that. And you go, you couldn't really write it in terms of a player that's been and come through the academy through the years that we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes and what we've all been going through. He's gone through it exactly like us, and obviously to move on at the end of this season, he would have wanted to end it by sending his club back to where it belongs and then saying goodbye and obviously going on to pastures new and focusing on his career, but knowing that his club and the fan base are back where they should be. And when it went in, my first thought was, "Oh God, we scored too early." but then, as you say, you couldn't really write it of who it had to be and how it went in, and it set the tone for the rest of the game. The stadium was electric from when that goal went in. Outpouring of emotion. You kind of thought, this is happening now. It felt real, and for me, when you look at the way they then went on and performed the rest of the game, it was just a fitting tribute to him. And obviously, when he went off as a sub, the reception he got probably was duly warranted.
It was, and I've been told, I don't know how true this is, but I got a little piece of memorabilia last night, which I think I will cherish forever. For audio listeners, I'll show you in a second, but I'll just move my head out of the way for the video ones. Got one of the, I don't know, what would you even call it? One of the things the players had, there was some that said like promoted on it, and this one says, "What we stepped up on it." And yeah, apparently it's Max Bird who threw his. So thanks, Max. That's going to stay on my wall forever. You've given me possibly the best bit of promotion memorabilia you can actually get. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, you are right. What a way for him to sign off, and what a player he's been for us as well. To come through the academy and do what he's done is so impressive. But Adam, I mean, we've got to talk about the second goal as well. And thank God it was from a set piece, because Jamie Page, and I'm going to call him out right now owes £50 to a charity. I'm not sure which charity we chose in the end, but Jamie Page owes £50 for charity because Collins ends the season on 9 open play goals. But he put it away so well, didn't he, Adam? I mean, good long ball from Wildsmith. Your mate heads it down, puts it into Collins's path, and he finishes past the goalkeeper pretty easily. Classic Derby goal, isn't it?
Yeah, I think sums us up of recently quite well. I think a set piece in, Bradley involved on it. He's been involved on a lot of set pieces. I think maybe these last 10 to 15 matches, knocks it down well. I think he was battling 2 players, does well. I didn't even realise Collins took a touch, to be honest. It just seemed like he'd taken age to go into the back of the net. I think my view was blocked when it happened, and yeah, the ball hit the back of the net, and just more of a relief. Wow, that should be it, shouldn't it? I think we rode our luck a little bit as well just before that. In the first half, I think Carlisle had a couple of chances, but Nelson's defending was superb for some blocks that we needed. But yeah, once the goal went in, it was epitomised Paul Warren football, I think, for me. Ball into the box, knocked down, puts it in the back of the net. How many times have we seen that this season? Barnsley away, Bradley's header. I think earlier on in the season, Dwight Gale got a couple of goals from similar sort of situations. And it was brilliant to see James Collins, a player who's been with us, obviously just since after the administration period, come in, and he got the goal after his injury, and it was a goal that I think he needed, the fans wanted, and a player who's been with us for the last 2 years now. Obviously, we missed out last season. It was nice to see him get that final goal to solidify our position in the game and send us up. And he looked like he was enjoying himself after the game, dancing in front of the cameras in the changing room. So hopefully it meant as much to him as it did to all us fans as well.
Well, I think one thing you can't question with James Collins is how much he wants it. I think him and Ebu Adams are probably right up there. I don't think there's many that are close. And Adam Lilly in the comments has annoyed me because I had this stat ready to roll out and he's just put it out as well. So now it looks like I'm copying him. But Curtis Nelson's the only outfield player in League One to play every single minute of every single game. I mean, Vic got player of the season. Not a massive surprise. I think so much was said on social media about him when it came out, and everyone was saying definitely Nelson. It was. It's really deserved. He's been unbelievable this season, and again, it's another big performance, which got us another clean sheet, which got Wildsmith the Golden Glove. I mean, we've got the best defensive record in the top 4 tiers. I can't remember what number it is exactly. I think it's 37 goals in 46 games that we've conceded. I mean, that's an unbelievable defensive record. And Curtis Nelson's such a big part of that, isn't he?
Oh, most definitely. He was the leader at the back that we sort of needed. I think when we made the signings of the centre-backs in the summer, we all probably looked towards Bradley to be that stalwart signing. But Curtis Nelson went under the radar and literally performed 8 out of 10 almost every week. So it's probably been the learning curve that Cashin needed next to him as well. But yeah, Curtis Nelson has been an absolute Rolls Royce of a defender at the back. It's been brilliant. I think he's collected pretty much all the accolades, even the supporters groups. I think he won all the awards there as well. So yeah, Curtis Nelson's deserved everything. And for all the music listeners out there, I don't know if they noticed, but Wes Nelson, his brother, was actually on the pitch as well at some point. So yeah, it's a bit bizarre, but honestly, Curtis Nelson, what a player. And he's one player I'd really look to keep, especially if we're moving up to the Championship, because him and Cashin have got that solid centre-back partnership. So not just him, but the whole defence as a whole and the keeper, they all deserve the recognition. Like you said, 37 goals conceded in the season is brilliant. So, yeah, what a defence. The Great Wall of Derby, as I like to call them.
Absolutely. We've got a comment from Matt Tennis as well, who's talking about the Peterborough supporters chanting Derby are going up at the Bolton fans the game yesterday, which if you haven't seen the clip, you've gone on social media, you'll find it. It is great, and it annoys a certain vlogger as well, which is very, very funny.
It was funny. It was very funny.
So, I mean, we have to talk. One of the things I wanted to mention, and Vic kind of alluded to it there with Wes Nelson of all things. I don't know how we segued into this, but I've noticed a lot of the players' families are really, really close, not just with each other, but with fans as well. And I think that's a little bit of a change to Derby in recent years. I think it was, I don't know how I'd exactly describe it, but I'd say probably when we were pushing towards the top, the connection between the players and the fans, I wouldn't say was massive, and everything was kind of closed off. And I think those lines have sort of blurred a little bit. I mean, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, but I was with, I bumped into Eiran Cashin's parents at about 1 o'clock in the morning in Derby Town Centre. All of us were absolutely battered, and we're just singing Derby songs and enjoying it and just enjoying the night. And it's different, isn't it, now? I think there's a real connection between the players' families, the players' friends, and the fans, which I don't think we've seen. And I think Paul Warne's got to take a lot of credit for that, because that's what he wanted, wasn't it? He wanted to build a team of players that are likable, characters that will get on. What did you describe them as? You just want some great lads or something like that. I mean, he's done that, hasn't he? And he's really built a community at the club, which I guess represents exactly what he's about.
Yeah, I mean, when you took the words right out of my mouth, there's one person who deserves that recognition for creating that ambience with the squads, and that's Paul Warne, because his big thing was not just the ability of the players, but the personality, and that they fit what he is trying to create as a culture behind the scenes, and for what he wants in his squads, and they play for not only themselves but own families, and is the biggest thing that he's been pushing for is that they play for their families, their teammates' families, because at the end of the day, you playing well creates memories not only for yourselves but everyone else, and that's one big thing that it's been pushed. Obviously, if you watch the We Are Derby series on Rams TV, you kind of see obviously the win wall and the thing that goes with them to every away game, and it's something that when you look at this squad, it's how together everyone is. And I mean, it's kind of summed up with the video that's come out today with Rooney on his little guitar, and they're all just sat there having drinks on a Sunday afternoon, just socializing. And I don't remember seeing things like that in past years, and just they look genuine mates. And as you say, they're just any other, they're no different, and they don't act any different. And when you speak to them, like if you get a chance to speak to them after games and stuff like we have, and they're just genuine nice people. And that's one big thing that I've really taken away from this squad that I won't forget. And obviously a lot of them might not be here going forward, but they won't be forgotten, especially for me personally.
You say that like Raul Albentosa wasn't playing the ukulele to Will Hughes and Richard Keogh in a pub in Derby after we just bottled the playoffs. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the togetherness has been incredible. And Adam, I mean, Paul Warne, what a job he's done. What an amazing job he's done. Again, we've spoken about it already, but when you think back to Stevenage, think back to some of the chants. I mean, I was looking back, some of the things I'd said, some of the things I'd tweeted about how bad the football is and how bad it all feels at the minute and how painful it is. And I think I might be wrong. We're either first or second in the league since then. I think we're top of the league since then. So
I think we are, yeah.
I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? To go from a point where it looked like all hope was lost, he's managed to pick it up and turn this team around. I mean, how's he done it?
Well, I wish I had the answer. I think I was looking back upon the season, and first game of the season, you can't judge too many things. Obviously, the loss, it wasn't great, and you put it to one side and think it will get better. And then I think for me, Shrewsbury away was the one that I put down as a marker. As that is, and I'll say it confidently, probably the worst football we've played under Warne at Shrewsbury away. I think performance-wise, I'm sure Warne knew it wasn't good enough. I'm sure the players knew that as well. And to come from that and build on from that was superb. I think Stevenage is a difficult one. They've been a pretty good side this year, and they just were better than us on the day. But to go from that, you talk about a roller coaster of a season, and I would agree with that. I think Shrewsbury was a marker for me. I think at the time I was on crutches. So I had to endure the full 90 minutes and also a lot longer after to wait for everybody to file out as I was at the top of the stand, waiting to make a safe departure down the stairs. Quite a slow departure in that too. So for me, that was the marker of where it's not going to get any worse than this. Performance wasn't great, wasn't there, needed to be better, and we've done that all through the season. Like you said, we've been top or second in the league in terms of gaining points and stuff like that. And I think it shows. I think for me, the moment when I thought we're going to do this was Portsmouth away. I think I said if we get anything from this game, then I think we're going to do this, and we did. We matched Portsmouth, who I've said have been the best side in the division this season. They know how to win. They've done the business, and they did it with games remaining. And to go there, get a point against them, sold out Fratton Park, the atmosphere was electric. I thought, yeah, Paul Warne's got it right. He knows what we need to do, and he's going to do it. And he's done that. Credit to Paul Warne. He's turned us into a side that are difficult to beat. That when we do get that first goal, you think, yeah, the 3 points or at least a point are probably going to be in the bag. I think it's a stark contrast from last season. I think someone mentioned it next to me in the South Stand about Sheffield Wednesday last game. I think we only needed a point or something like that to stay in the playoffs, and it was such a difficult game to go to with them being so good that season. And I think last season if we did get the first goal, I still wasn't comfortable thinking that we'd come out with all three or a point from games. And this season it's changed. Paul Warne's got his team in. He's got the players he wants in. And it's very obvious to see why he's earned so many promotions from this league, because you have to find a way to win. And Paul Warne's done that with Derby County, and he deserves full credit for that. And he's done it superbly. So for me, Paul Warne and the players, and obviously Clowes, but Paul Warne has delivered one of the best Derby County seasons I've seen as a fan, to be able to go on that pitch at the end and celebrating amongst the players. So Paul Warne deserves full credit for that. And I think also him being quite down to earth also helps with that as well. Towards the end as well, it makes you think that, yeah, I think hopefully, and he should do, he understands it from the fans' point of view and the fans' reactions through the season.
Yeah, he's done a good job, hasn't he? Yeah, he's done a good job. And Vic, looking at Warne, I mean, people have talked about next year. We'll obviously go on to our reviews and preview. We've got so much to come over the summer, don't you worry. But people worry about Warne in the Championship, don't they? Because he's not got a good record there. He has always, had the lowest budget in the league with possibly the smallest team in the league every single time. So I think it's probably a harsh comparison to make to what we'll do. But have you got faith? Do you reckon he'll carry this on? Are we going to do an Ipswich? Are we Ipswich now? Because they came second as well.
Why not?
Are we going up again?
I'd love to say yes, but I'm going to go no on that. But having said that, Paul Warne's deserved the chance to have a crack at the Championship. Like we said, he's probably had the lowest budget when he was at Rotherham. Next season, as far as I'm aware, there's literally no sort of restrictions, no anything to do with the EFL budgets and all that. So we'll probably spend within our means, but he'll have a good enough budget to sort of challenge in the Championship. I'm not saying for top six. I reckon we'll probably go for top half, if I'm honest. But he deserves the credit. He deserves the credit for the season he's gone. He's got 92 points is no mean feat, is it? So he's done enough to get at least a crack at the Championship. And I think he'll do all right, if I'm honest. I think if he has a good summer recruitment, he'll be fine. And I think we'll see slow progress in the Championship. The last thing we want to do is sort of go back to back and then sort of end up in the Prem and then come back down again and fall down the ladder. So we don't want to do that. But I think he deserves it. He deserves it. And going back to what Adam was saying, it's testament to the character of Paul Warne. When we had that Stevenage defeat, the Shrewsbury defeat, everything looked down and out. I even spoke to him at Shrewsbury, and even he said then, he goes, I'm not too worried. He goes, we played awful, but I know it will click. And those were his words. And since that day, it has. So, testament to him. He's found a pragmatic way of playing football. I know the style isn't great, but he gets results. So, that's all that mattered. We've got the promotion. Let him have his crack at the Championship. And the Rams are back in the big time, sort of. But medium time. The medium time for now. But yeah, he deserves his chance. And let's just go and take the Championship by storm next season.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Right. Usually we do a prediction here. Can't really do a prediction because we've run out of games. So thank you, Warne, for making sure we weren't in the playoffs, because can you imagine how stressful that would have been? So I guess that is it. And I just want to say a massive thank you from all of us. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of everyone in our little team that for all the support we've had all year. I mean, it's been genuinely incredible. We thought it had peaked when we won silver at the FCAs. All the best teams come second. We know that.
Yay.
It peaked when we ended up getting that. And I mean, our listener base or viewer base has gone up 3 times in that time, which is crazy. Like, it's a crazy amount of people. So yeah, we're just really grateful for all the support you've given us and all the guys that, turn up and get involved on a Sunday night, and the people that comment later, and the people that come and say hello or just have a chat or anything like that. It is a really brilliant thing to be a part of. And again, I'm sure I can speak on behalf of everyone that we're really, really grateful for everything. So, I mean, that is it. Callum, any parting comments until we end up doing more things? What do you think?
I think just for everyone, just bottle this feeling. Don't let it go. I think that when we're down fighting at Preston or whatever on a Tuesday night in a couple of years' time, and you go, "Oh God, that was a pouring game." Just remember a couple of years ago the feeling that you had on this day, because it doesn't come around very often for many clubs and for many fan bases. So just remember it, enjoy it, and we'll see you for next season. We'll be back and we'll be back where we belong and fighting, and we'll see where it takes us next season.
Premier League, Adam.
Just reiterate everybody's comments. Thank you, everybody who's listened and enjoyed it. I think, just we'll be back next season with the same sort of thing, the same bad jokes, the same sayings. I'm not quite sure what to say really. It's weird. It's the end of the season, isn't it? I think a couple of months off from Derby, which I think we'll all be desperate to come and watch Derby back again after one Saturday without football. I think we'll all be sat there watching the clock again. But like Callum said, bottle this memory. I think it's something to last a lifetime, and there'll be pictures in pubs of all the people on the pitch celebrating, and some of these players will go down in folklore, and these memories will be recited by many people when we grow old to grandkids, kids, and anybody who'll listen, really. So thank you for listening to us this season. Hopefully many more memories to come.
I can't wait to tell my grandkids about James Collins. And I'll talk about all his open play goals, and they'll really enjoy them. Nick?
Just to the fans out there, savor this moment. Like everyone said before, we don't get many good times like this, good moments like this. So savor every moment, share it with your loved ones, enjoy everything, because we've had so many bad years. It's finally nice to see we've got something good. Savor every single moment, enjoy the moment. Life's too short. Thank you to everybody that's listened to the podcast. Without you guys, we won't be doing this week in, week out. We won't be as successful as we are. So thank you from the bottom of all our hearts. And like I said earlier on Twitter, I'll say it again. Long may the good times and the good vibes continue. Let's go.
Let's go.
I didn't realise we were successful, Vic, to be honest.
Yeah.
We're successful. Trust me, we're successful. If the wise man says it, we are.
You have got a beard, to be fair, Vic. So I just want to say, so we won't be stopping what we're doing. We'll have a full season review like we did last season, either midweek this week or next week, whenever we do it, which, went down really well last year. We're also going to have some stuff coming up, some games. We've got a couple of people on board. We've got a couple of interviews lined up as well. So the content will keep coming to scratch your Derby itch over the summer. As Adam says, when we have a Saturday and you sat there and I genuinely don't know what to do.
When you're bored of the Euros.
It's not the same. Not the same, is it?
Nope.
But we'll keep the stuff coming, and thank you so much for listening. So if you did enjoy, please do leave a like, please do subscribe, please do rate us on Spotify, especially Apple Pods. If you do like the pods, please give us a rating on Apple Pods, especially if it's 5-star. If it's less than that, I'll be sad, but 5-star would be fantastic. So the Rams are going up. Back to the Championship. We'll never be in League One again. Please never be in League One again. And let's see where we go from here. It's goodbye from me.
Thank you, David Clowes. Thank you, Paul Warren. Thank you, the squad of 23-24. I'm off to have a Chinese. Goodbye from me.
What a season. A roller coaster. Getting to end it on the pitch with the players where memories were made. It's goodbye from me.
So many great memories. Savour every moment. Nottingham Forest, we're coming for you. Goodbye from me.
Yes.
I love it, Vic. I love it. So yeah, thank you for your support. We'll stick around. We won't be gone for too long. Enjoy your weekend and drink lots and lots and lots of water. We'll see you soon.